Hey guys, Deathletter Magic here, and I know that the only thing that people care about on this channel is my health and beauty tips and my makeup tutorials, but I'm going to cover Magic the Gathering spoilers today instead, so if you don't like that, just leave. Just click off the video. And there's a lot of spoilers, so I'm just going to blaze through these. So first up, we've got, oh crap, I can't read that, it's in Korean. So next up, no, I'm just kidding, I'm going to translate it. Yeah, me. I'm going to translate it. Anyway, it's a 3-cost Izzet sorcery. Oh boy, it translates to Bacon of Lightning, not Beacon. They mistranslated that. It's Bacon. It deals damage to target creature equal to the total number of instants and sorceries you own in your graveyard and exile. And it has Jumpstart. So if you were to discard an instant or sorcery, it will do more damage the second time. I don't think that would be particularly wise, but you could. I mean, if you need something dead and you've got a counter spell and you're like, whatever, I need that dead, it's already on the field, hey. So, I mean, yeah, it's crap early game and it's good late game. I mean, I think it's worth putting in an Izzet deck. I might not play 4 of, though. One of the more fair Izzet cards we've actually seen. Next up, Book Devourer. It's a 4/5 Traveler for 6. I love that artwork. Oh my gosh. And whenever Book Devourer deals combat damage to a player, you may discard all the cards in your hand. If you do, draw that many cards. So honestly, that late, by the time you have 6, is that even good? But in an Izzet deck, if you're stuck with like all counter spells and they're token flooding and it's already on the field and now you need removal, okay. Otherwise, you really get nothing from this if you're top decking, and it only does 4 damage for 6 mana, so I don't think this will be particularly powerful unless there's some other weird synergy that happens with it. Next up, Creeping Chill, which is the feeling you feel when Wizards of the Coast is creeping into your wallet, ready to take all your money and probably your Costco membership card. So it's a 4-cost sorcery, and it deals 3 damage to each opponent, and you gain 3 lives. So, okay, they have a card virtually identical to that already in Standard. And when it is put into your graveyard from your library, you may exile it. If you do, it immediately deals 3 damage to each opponent, and you gain 3 lives. So, is that worth a 4th mana? I mean, is that even the right question? In a self-mill deck, who cares? It's basically a landmine. I mean, like, it could cost 10, who cares? But if it's in your opening hand, is this worth 4 mana? Hell no, it isn't, but, like, I don't even know how to balance that. Like, is being worth 4 worth it being a free spell? I'd say no, but it depends upon the level of self-mill that you've got going on. And right now, self-mill seems not terrifically reliable, but it's like one of the major mechanics of Dimir and honestly Golgari too, so I don't know, we'll see. This could be really good. Next up, another cell phone shot of an LCD monitor of a card, implying that a digital version of this exists. What the hell is wrong with you, Japan? How did this happen? So anyway, this is called Detour, most likely. It's a 4-cost sorcery, and it's in green, and it says search your library for up to 2 basic lands or gates and put them onto the battlefield tapped. So, gee, that's explosive vegetation with guild gates added. No, seriously, it is literally the same card with guild gates added. I thought explosive veg was amazing when it was legal, but that's because of landfall. We don't have landfall now, so the only benefit you're getting out of it is 2 basic lands that come in taps. So you better really want to ramp really high. But I mean, this is so much better than a mana dork, yeah, but it's so late you almost have to like ramp into this, sort of. I think the tiebreaker is gate synergy, and the number 1 right now is in blue. So I don't know, we'll see. This might take off in about 4 months. In other words, the next set, which by the way will add even more gate synergy. So I mean, I like this because now if you run a modern deck where you need to dump lands, you could run this and explosive vegetation, so that's cool. So next up we got Glaive of the Guild Pact. That's not a glaive. Did anybody else notice that? A glaive is like a pole weapon with like a funny shaped, kind of like a scimitar blade stuck on the end of the pole, but it's not a halberd, a bardiche, or a spear. Yeah, this is a sword. I believe sword was the word you were looking for. I mean, how did they get this wrong? How is that even possible? Anyway, equipped creature gets +1 attack for each gate you control and has vigilance and menace. Damn, for a 2-drop and a 3 equip. Ooh, gate synergy is getting mean. I gotta say, it's so much better than get out 10 gates and win. I don't even care at this point what they do with gate synergy. All the gates come in taps, so, I mean, you're going to be playing 1 to 2 turns behind your opponent the whole game. So, I mean, as powerful as this looks, you're still going to be playing behind. It's kind of expensive too, but this is like a really, really discount Black Blade, but it costs 3 to equip to literally anything instead of just legendary. So obviously Black Blade is better, but this looks pretty good. You could really do something with this. It's just, I feel like you're going to have the other 5 guilds to make it worth it to play, like, 5 color, 4 color, 3 color, or whatever. So it's just another sleeper card that, oh, we'll see what it does in 4 months. I mean, why not put it in the second set? I guess the answer is always that it didn't fit. Whatever, so next we got a guy entering the Witness Protection Program. We got Hunted Witness. He's a 1/1 for 1 in white, so you know it's going to be hilarious. When he dies, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token with lifelink. So if you kill the Witness, he comes back from the dead as a soldier? That he summons like the police because you killed him? I don't know. I don't get the narrative here. Honestly, that's great. And anything that costs 1 that you got to kill twice. This is basically an almost as good version of the cat. I forgot what it's called. The cat from Amon Cat. That's a 1/1 lifelink where you got to kill it twice, but only the replacement token has lifelink. But still, I love this card. I think it's fantastic. This is at least the 3rd card where you effectively have to kill it twice. That's in Convoke colors. So I think they wanted Convoke to play around a board wipe, so it might not be as bad as it looks right now. Next up, I don't know why this and a bunch of cards in here have a giant black shadow over them. I really don't, but they do. Ledev Guardian, it's a 4-cost 2/4 with Convoke, absolute vanilla, and absolute garbage. You could drop this out on turn 3. I don't think you could drop it out on 2. I can't think of any way that would do that. So, oh boy, and then it'll sit there and slow down combat, because 2/4 is no joke in combat. That usually just means they can't swing for a couple turns. But is it really worth it? Is it really Convoke midrange? I mean, there's better stuff than this. I mean, it's mono, so that's cool, but kind of crap. It is a human knight, though. So, I mean, we might have something there. I mean, I'd put this in white knights all day, you bet. Next up, we've got a Lotleth Giant. Haven't had a Golgari card for a while. It's a 6/5 zombie giant for 7 undergrowth. When it enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target opponent for each creature card in your graveyard. So automatic damage and then swing away with him after that. The problem is he costs 7 and he's only a 6/5, but I mean, if this was a 4/4 for 7 and it had that massive just direct damage bomb effect, I'd still call it playable. So yeah, this is pretty good. It's just, is it good enough to drop into a deck when you've got to pay 7 for it and you can't really reduce it? I can't think of a way to do that. I'm on the fence. I mean, if you got this off and it did like 5 to 10 damage, damn. But any other time, ooh. And in your opening hand, double ooh. What I'm thinking is the whole point of this is to mill it into your graveyard and then bring it out onto the battlefield for free, because it says ETB not when cast. And honestly, I think it should have said when cast. So yeah, directly resurrecting this, hey, should be fun. Next up, another shadow in the top right card. Really wonder what's going on with that, but I don't trace where any of these come from, and I don't care. It's a Loxodon Restorer. You know you were waiting for those Loxodons. Those guys are great. It's a 6-cost 3/4 with Convoke, so that's wonderful. And when it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. Even with life gain synergy, most of which we're losing because of Amon Cat, this is still really bad. I mean, theoretically, you could drop this out on like turn 4 if you're lucky, but ooh, 4 life in a middle grade creature. Ooh. Unless you're playing Elephant Cleric Tribal, I don't think you have anything there. Next up, we got Maximar of Velocidade, which of course means Maximum the Hormone. By the way, just type that into YouTube and click on the first thing that comes up. I'll just ruin it for you. It's a Japanese band and they're awesome. So this is a instant that costs 1 in red, which, wonderful, more Izzet fuel, yay, in case you couldn't tell from the artwork. Target creature gets +1/+1 and has haste until end of turn, and then jumpstart. So, jumpstart, I think, that's pushing it a little bit. I mean, if you have an extraneous land and this is all that's sitting in your graveyard, sure. I don't think Izzet is going to win with creatures, and if they are, they're going to have prowess, so I don't honestly think this will be all that great. By the way, I'm pretty sure that's a Portuguese word for just recursion or recurring or something like that. I think based on the ending, it would be recur-er, but whatever, I speak Spanish. You know, that thing that I said they should have called Jumpstart because Jumpstart sounds stupid. So, I mean, yeah, it's only 1 damage till end of turn on prowess, it would be 2. That's kind of cool, and you're probably not playing many hasters in Izzet, so I mean, it could be okay, but I don't think it's going to be the absolute game changer. Now, if this said draw a card on the end, I'd be pissed. Even for 3 mana, I'd be pissed. That would be ridiculous. Next up, Omnispell Adept. It's a 3/4 human wizard with blurry text ability. That's fantastic. Thanks for the high quality image there, whoever spoiled this. Costs 5, so it better be worth it. You tap it, and you may cast an instant or sorcery from your hand without paying its mana cost. What the actual hell, wizards? So just Star of Extinction. Yeah, you can just cast Apex of Power for free instead of paying 10. Wonderful. or Boneyard Parlay, or Brass's Bounty, or Nexus of Fate, or Overflowing Insight, or Primeval's Glorious Rebirth, or Vivian's Invocation, or Certain Death if it's not cycling. I'm not sure. That one's basically M17 or whatever they wanted to call it. Karn's Temporal Sundering. Wonderful. Let's do it. In fact, that's blue. They are damn lucky that Omniscience isn't an instant or sorcery. This card makes me sick. I mean, yeah, it costs 5. I don't think anybody's going to be putting this in their modern deck too quick, but just the fact that you can pay 3 and cast literally anything, I mean, it is balanced by the fact that, okay, it has to be in your hand, and there's very few spells that cost even 7 and up in standard. I think there's like 4, maybe 3. But we got a lot more sets to go before this thing cycles out, so can't wait to see this when 8 sets are legal. Then again, it only has 4 toughness. It's not the hardest thing in the world to destroy, and you have to actually have the card in your hand, so it's like, okay, it's not that unfair. It's not that 8 cost frickin' portal thing where you can just grab something out of your deck and slam it onto the field and then flip off your opponent and flip the table over. I believe that's how that card worked. But this is just absolute BS. Yeah, it costs 3, but I'm going to call it free casting because that's just what it is. There's almost nothing like really serious and blue that this works with other than Nexus, Overflowing Insight, and I mean, maybe Floodwaters. That card kind of sucks. Even Karn's Temporal Sundering ain't that good of a card. Oh, that's right. Floodwaters is cycling out. Yeah, there's not much, but like, I'm worried. You shouldn't be able to pay 3 for a 10 cost spell. You just shouldn't be able to do that. Period. Screw you, wizards. I hate you all. Hey, did you hear that sound? It's the sound of literally everybody putting that in their commander deck. So anyway, next up we got Parhelion Patrol, which is also stuck in the shadows for some reason. It has Flying and Vigilance. It's a 4 cost 2/3 with Mentors, so that has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. You know, cards like this make me wonder if there's going to be a human knight tribal synergy thing, like past just History of Benalia. I mean, even Banalish Marshal, you got to have more than that. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very good. So next up, Piston Fist Cyclops. Well, this is a hybrid creature, so I don't know if we've seen hybrid on a non-split card so far. That's interesting. It's a 4/3 with Defender, and as long as you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender. I mean, is that really worth it? Like, as an absolute roadblock to just sit there and be like, hi, I'm a 4/3, swing at me, I dare you. Yeah, but, I mean, why do you need that? Like, don't you want to do damage and win the game? Then again, with Izzet, like, yeah, you're going to cast a spell every single turn, obviously, duh. So, still, it's only a 4/3 for 3. Is that restriction even worth it? I can see why they put hybrid mana on this, because it's not very good. I don't think this will be anybody's first choice for Izzet, but maybe it'll slot in, maybe it'll be right on curve. I don't know, I'm just not that excited about it. Next up, the card that even wizards themselves are hyper excited about, and this by itself is going to change how people play Convoke. Ritual of Soot. Now remember, Plague Mirror is a -1 sweeper, and Goblin Chain Whirler is still a sweeper until they ban it. I'm just kidding, that whole deck cycles out, they're gonna ban it. Now Search for Azcanta or Teferi's stupid ass, that they better ban, but yeah. I mean, having Plague Mirror on color with this, oh boy. So what this does is for 4 as a sorcery, so I mean, it's no joke, but destroy all creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less. So the perfect deck that this would go in would be a mostly red Sarkhan's Unsealing Dragon deck, because like nothing in that entire deck costs 3 or less. But yeah, I mean, there goes tokens for sure, because they cost 0, and then honestly, most of the stuff you'd throw into Convoke would be bad. I mean, you put in a 1 cost, 2 cost, or 3 cost and just try to flood that with like a Dauntless or, I don't know, any 1/1, something like that. I mean, there's a couple that you have to kill twice because of this card. But boy, this just shuts down Convoke completely. This is rough. I mean, I don't know if people are going to appreciate and play this enough. Because, I mean, what was that? Slaughter the Strong. Like, nobody played that. And they really should, because it's really good. One of the best pseudo board wipes in the game. But I mean, yeah, it costs 4, you can't do it at instant speed, and you gotta build your deck around it because you don't want to nuke all your stuff. So it's pretty narrow, but the fact that they made it a rare shows just how much they think it's good, and hello, they wrote an article basically about it on Daily MTG. So yeah, watch out for this. I don't think it'll even clear like $5 necessarily, but I mean, I think it'll be important. It'll be on people's radar. Next up, it's Guivre d'Assige. I know my French is wonderful, but I'm going to pull up the translation anyway. So I can't wait to see what's going on with like the story, because this is the second worm to be like armed up and attacking a city. The other one had flavor text that was like, screw your subtlety, I'm bringing a worm. I don't know what the bottom of this one says. I'm not going to translate it. So this is a 6-cost Convoke Trample Worm, and it's just straight up 5/5. So nothing real special about this. It's just a giant Trample Worm for not 7. So, I mean, you could probably get this out for 2, 3, 4 mana, and yeah, there you go. You might even get this out for free. I mean, thank God Lifecrafter's Bestiary is not going to be legal anymore, because that would be nuts with Convoke decks like this. So this looks pretty sweet, but I mean, keep in mind, it's only a common. So that really shows you how much they think it's going to be, absolutely amazing. So next up, another Frenchy card. Awesome. I can't even read this anyway. I don't know how they translate it. It's all blurry crap. Thanks, France. You're a credit to the world. So this translates to Renovate the Bourgeois. This is a bit of a communist card, and you pay 3. It's a rituel, or sorcery, or ritual, because that's what that translates to. And create a 2/2 green and white elf knight creature token with vigilance. You know, that token that's referenced on like 9 different cards. This also has Convoke, and then also destroy target artifact or enchantment. So blow something up and get a creature out of it. Typical Convoke card. And then it also actually finally has Convoke. They actually put a Convoke on a Convoke card. I should clarify, a card intended for a Convoke deck, clearly. So is this worth a little bit of mana above Naturalized? Yeah. Absolutely. In sorcery speed, who cares? Sure. I think this is fantastic. It might be confined to a sideboard, but, you know, it's still good. Next up, clearly Japan does not have their crap together. Another LCD monitor cell phone shot of a card. Good job, guys. So this is Thief of Sanity. Looks like something out of Lord of the Rings. It's a Spectre, which is usually good, especially when they're black, because this is probably going to screw with somebody's hand. I actually haven't read any of these yet. I'm doing this in real time. So, whenever Thief of Sanity deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 3 cards of that player's library, exile one of those cards face down, then put the rest in that player's graveyard. Oh, that might actually benefit them. You may look at and cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any color to cast the spell. Well, that's annoying. I mean, it's not Shimmy and Spectre level annoying, but it's annoying. Beating people with their own decks is hilarious, but yeah, this is just going to be frightfully annoying. I mean, just, it's Hostage Taker all over again. And that other stupid one, I forgot what the other one, the pirate one. They're both pirates, whatever. Everybody hates those stupid cards. My spells are my spells. Piss off. It's so stupid to have to waste a removal on a 2/2 flying 3 cost, but it is what it is. The problem here is if you clone it or if you have multiple in play, you have to remember which one exiled which. So you're probably just going to have to put it under the card. Also, if you're not familiar, there's this really obscure, weird rule where at the end of the game, you have to, or I should say, they have to flip up all face down cards in exile and show you what they were. I'm like 99% sure that that's a rule. And every time I say it, somebody thinks I'm making it up, but it's on the ruling for some other card. So I assume it's basically a rule of the game. Might be on Bomat. I don't know. Whatever. Let's move on. Next up, we got Watcher in the Mist. Oh my gosh, he's at the window. Somebody get the shotgun. It's a 5-cost 3/4 flying spirit. So, hey, blue spirits. Woo. I still don't think that'll be a thing. When Watcher in the Mist enters the battlefield, surveil 2. So, I mean, it's a little bit of damage in the air. It's a little bit overpriced. But, I mean, if you're using surveil to ramp into it because it's in your hand, I still don't think it's worth it even in that case. But, I don't know, it's kind of neat. I just don't think it's very good. I mean, if you have the every time you surveil do this stuff, that's great, but still, this costs 5, and it's just not that great. Oh, that's the end of it. That is all the spoilers for this particular video. You're probably wondering, well, what's your cutoff? Whenever I feel like it is what the cutoff is. When I'm like, oh, that's a lot of cards in my folder called GRN Spoilers 9. So in summary, this is not all of them, and in fact, compared to the last video, they're not even in chronological order. So, oh, thanks to like the 4 people that told me how to get to the link for just spoilers in order by date that they were spoiled on Mythic Spoiler. That helps a lot. So watch for more spoilers in the near future, and also I'm going to be live streaming pretty soon. In fact, I might just live stream before I even encode this video, because screw it, kind of want to stream. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.